Madolches will always see play no matter the format and no matter the meta they are up against. Madolches are a fan favorite archetype that has amazing one card starters that allow you to go full combo, and they don't play that many bricks in the deck, right? The only bricks you're really playing are Pudding Sets and the Messengelados, but other than that, this card can slap the meta. Cards like Queen Tiramisu that can non-target shuffle back 2 cards on the field will always be an amazing effect no matter what format you're playing in, right? And this deck got a lot better with the inclusion of Crossout Designator. This card allows you to play through the cards that would normally end your turn. Cards like Ash Blossom, Nibiru, and Imperm are all cards that you play in the deck anyway, and now with the addition of Crossout Designator, it allows you to go full combo without having to really worry about getting hand trapped as much as you did before. And with new cards like Madolche Salon and new cards like Madolche Promenade, the deck now has negates, and even if you do get hand trapped, you can still play through them. What's going on, guys? My name is Souffle from Head-to-Head Battles. In today's episode, we're going to be going over a Tier 1, actually, Madolche deck profile. Now, I know we don't do a lot of deck profiles here often, but I love this freaking deck. This deck is so good. The Glass Souffle Shuffle Back 2 in the graveyards, Queen Tiramisu non-targeting Shuffle Back 2 on the field, Promenade, Salon, Crossout Designator, and now we don't even need to play Gamma. Like, this deck has become so freaking good, and the upcoming format is going to be even better. This deck is so freaking sweet, but not as sweet as today's sponsor, Sugen. He just released a brand new Nico Robin and Nami Gold Metal Field Center. They're freaking amazing. All right, I'm gonna have it up on the screen as I'm talking about it, obviously. And you can check out all the other crazy things that we have over on the website with these new Ghost Girl pins that we have. Also, join the Patreon. We have some really dope tiers. I think you will enjoy it. So after that seamless segue to our sponsor, let's get straight into the deck profile. All right, so let's get started right away. Madolche Angeli is probably one of your better starters in the deck. And this card dodges Imperm because it tributes itself for cost, so there's nothing for you to Imperm or Veiler if they don't Veiler you on summon. One of the biggest drawbacks of this deck is it loses to Ash sometimes, but with cards like Designator, Triple Tactics Talents, and Salon, we don't lose to Ash that often, right? Next, we're probably playing the best starter in the deck, Madolche Petting Sesor. This card allows you to go full combo without normal summoning even one freaking time. Now, this is the only card that locks you into Madolche, so if you use its second effect, a special from the deck, you cannot make Zeus, okay? So keep that in mind. Next, our next kind of pseudo starter is Madolche Magellan. So when you normal summon Magellan, it allows you to add Petting Sesor or Hoot Cake just in case if you've ashed and you have Ash in the graveyard and you can't petting, it'll add you the cards you need, but by itself is not a one card starter. Just in case, I want you to keep that in mind, okay? Next, we're playing double Hoot Cake. There is a world where you could play 3, but I think 2 makes the most sense simply because of the way the deck is constructed, right? We don't dump that many cards into the graveyard turn 0 where we're hand trapping people, so I think double Hoot Cake is just correct. Next, we're playing our big brick in the deck, Madolche Messengelado. So this card, when Hoot Cake is on the field, adds you a Madolche Speller Trap, which is basically how your combo gets going, because you need to add Chateau for a la mode. But at the end of the day, you definitely do not want to see either of those in your hand. And for our final mega brick, Madolche Pudding Sets. This card has an effect where after damage count, you can pop a card on the field, and unironically, that comes up a lot, especially if you're dealing with floodgates and things like that. So the 2 Gelatos and the 1 Pudding Sessions are cards you absolutely do not want to see in your deck, but these are generally the only bricks that you play in the deck because now you don't play Gamma or Driver, so you don't have to be fearful of drawing the Driver alongside these bricks that you were already playing, okay? So that's it for our Madolche lineup. Next, for our hand traps, we are playing Triple Dimension Shifter. And as you guys know, I am an avid advocate for Dimension Shifter. I think this card is one of the best hand traps in the game. And if your opponent isn't playing cross out or is playing cross out but not playing Shifter, any combo deck gets punished so bad off a Shifter. And because your deck can OTK really easily, you opening Shifter and a 1-card combo, is usually enough. Next, we are playing double Ash Blossom and double Nibiru. So obviously we're playing these double ratios only because of Crossout Designator. If you're not playing Designator, I recommend you bump all these hand traps up to 3. They will help you a lot, but just mind you that people do have access to Designator, and even though people say it's bad, there will still be people playing Crossout Designator in their list, okay? Next, for our spell lineup, we are playing triple Madolche Salon. This card had to have made the Madolche strategy literally 10 times better, right? Now, this card allows you to normal summon again, and when a Madolche gets shuffled back into the deck or added back to your hand, it will set you Promenade, and that's generally the normal combo line that you go through, but you definitely want to see Salon in your opening hand. It's definitely one of the better cards in your deck, and a card that you always want to see. Now, for our one-ofs, we're playing Madolche Ticket and Madolche Chateau. There is a world where you could bump Chateau to 2, because this card actually helps you facilitate OTK, and a lot of people don't run Ticket, but Ticket allows you to garner so much more advantage, even on your opponent's turn, because generally you end on Glass Souffle, Promenade, Sistart, and Ticket and Salon, with Chateau on the field with a card or 2 in the hand. Ticket allows you to, when a Madolche card gets shuffled back into the deck, it allows you to add a Madolche monster to hand, or if you have a fairy on the field, it allows you to special summon that card and allows you to extend even further, because if you special petting on your opponent's turn, petting still triggers and you can summon something else. Okay, so that's it for our Madolche spells. Now for our staples, we're playing triple Crossout Designator. Now, I know a lot of people aren't running Crossout Designator, or a lot of people think it's not as good as it is in the OCG, and they're absolutely correct. Crossout Designator is only good if Maxi is unbanned, but being in the TCG, we don't have Maxi, so generally speaking, we don't need Crossout Designator either. But in a deck like Madolche's, it allows you to really play without getting punished, simply because you have so many one-card full combo starters that you have the flex spots to play Designator and the hand trap. So if you haven't tested with this card, I highly recommend you try it. And the card is a lot cheaper upon recording this video, because when it first came out, it was like over $100, but now it's sitting just at the $50 mark. So pick these up and give it a try, okay? Next, we're playing double triple Tactics Talents and one Called by the Grave. So again, this deck doesn't suffer from inconsistencies, but it always helps to play more cards to make your deck more consistent, right? And triple Tactics Talents is a card that allows you to do that, because if you do get hand trapped, and even if you cross out Designator, you can still activate triple Tactics Talents to draw 2 cards, right? And speaking of draw power, boy oh boy, we're playing triple Pot of Prosperity, and on top of that, we're playing double Pot of Extravagance. So we have 7 cards in the deck that will help us get to the cards that we need. Now you're saying, okay, so what happens if I use one and I can't use the other? So if I activate Pot of Extravagance and it gets ashed and I don't have the Designator, you can still use Prosperity to draw cards because you haven't drawn off of Extravagance. And yes, you do lose a lot of extra deck, but the extra deck, the only cards you really need are 1 Souffle, 1 a la mode, and 1 or 2 Queen Tiramisu's. We are playing Zeus in the extra, but Tiramisu's already pretty much OTK anyway. All right, so that's it for our spell lineup. Now for our traps. Because we are playing only Earth monsters aside from Zeus, we are allowed to play Gozen Match. And going first, and you see Gozen Match, I think that you're going to want to see it more often than not seeing it. Not a lot of combo decks can play Gozen Match. Even Infernobles that are all Fire Warriors, they still need to get into Zolde, they still need to get into Halki Firebrax or Auroradon, and that doesn't change even for decks like Tri-Brigade, where they use Earth and Winds, as well as Virtual Worlds, where they also use Earth and Winds and Darks and Lights, and even Drytrons, right? It might not be as good with Drytrons, but it still sometimes stops their turn, and you gotta want it, right? But at the end of the day, I think Gozen is a great main deck card, and I probably wouldn't swap it out for anything else. Next, we're playing double Promenade. A lot of people play 1, but this card as recurable as it is really good even if you hard open it. And let's say you brick, right? You'll normal summon a monster, it gets ashed or imperm, you don't see designator, you set the Promenade, and you at least have a negate for turn. And I mean, unless you bricked really hard, you should still have, or rather still see some of the hand traps in your hand, right? Next we have Infinite Impermanence. Again, we're only playing 2 because these are cross out ratios. Again, big PSA, if you are not playing cross out designator, bump all those to 3, right? So we're playing double imperm, double ash, double nib, and 3 cross out. If you remove the 3 cross outs, just play 3 imperm, 3 ash, 3 nib, and your deck list will be seemingly the same exact number. Okay, so that's it for our main deck. Let's move over to our extra deck. All right, so the first card in our extra deck, we're playing Madolche Teacher Glass Souffle. Unironically, this is one of the better XC's cards in your deck. One, it allows you to tiramisu without your tiramisu getting negated, right? So let's say you go Queen Tiramisu, use effect, and then they go Crystal Wing negate, right? You can chain Glass Souffle to make the Queen Tiramisu unaffected by monster effects, and now you get the shuffle back. And on top of that, on resolution, Glass Souffle will allow you to shuffle 2 cards back from either graveyard into the deck, which will help you trigger Salon and Ticket on the field, as well as get rid of some combo pieces and put them back into the deck, right? The next we have Chocolate a la Mode. Now, when you go into a la Mode, you really open yourself up to Nibiru, but a la Mode is definitely one of those cards where it allows you to keep going into combo, because a la Mode actually summons you 2 monsters because it's not once per turn. Right when you summon a la Mode, you target a Madolche in the graveyard, shuffling it back, summoning you Hoot Cake. Hoot Cake will banish monster, summon you Mess and Gelato. Gelato grabs you Chateau, and then you activate Chateau, shuffling the Madolche in the graveyard back, and you can trigger this again. So it's really powerful. Now, one of the, your MVP of the deck is probably going to be Madolche Queen Tiramisu. This card is a non-targeting shuffle 2 back on the field. For those of you who need simpler terms, you can literally out Dragoons. You can out Phoenix Enforcer. There are so many cards that are unoutable because you have to target them. Queen Tiramisu doesn't target, and it doesn't destroy, it doesn't banish, it shuffles back. There aren't a lot of cards in the meta that protect you from non-targeting shuffle back, and it's not once per turn, right? It's once per card, and the way Madolche's work is, it just swarms the field with 4s. There will be times where you do make 2 Tiramisus to shuffle back 4 cards, and it makes a deck function so well, like a well-oiled, I don't know, donut, I guess. I can't really say like a machine, because it's a donut deck, I guess. Next, we're playing the new Link 2, Madolche Fresh Sistart. Madolche Fresh Sistart is really good because, one, it protects your Madolche cards that are face up, right? Your opponent cannot destroy those cards, and on top of that, when your opponent wants to destroy it by card effect or battle, you can banish a Madolche card, or rather, sorry, you can shuffle back a Madolche card and it stays alive. And on that shuffle back, you still plus off your Salon and your Ticket and every other card that says, hey, I activate when you shuffle me back, all right? The next 3 cards in the extra deck, which I don't have on me right now, are Zeus, okay? Zeus is a really good card in this deck because the only card that locks you into Madolche's is Palisades. So there are times, turn 3 or turn 4, where you simply just make a Glass Souffle, attack into something, and make a Zeus. You can make a 4 material Zeus really easily, right? Because you have 2 materials under Glass Souffle, you summon a la Mode, and then you summon the Zeus, giving you 4 mass, which is, I guess, very essential if you are making Zeus, okay? So that's it for our extra deck. Let's move over to our side deck. Now, the side deck is very dependent on where you play or who you play with, but this will be a very generic side deck, all right? So we're playing triple Lightning Storm, simply because we dislike back row, right? Our deck does lose to a heavy back row deck simply because trap decks want to trade 1-for-1 with you, and generally speaking, even if you open up Insane, because you're not going to cross out designated trap cards or triple tactics, a trap card. So as you go 1-for-1, even if you open Salon and 2 starters plus Petting Cess, and if they stop all of that, I mean, you're definitely not playing, but you can argue that they also don't get to play because they have to go 1-for-1 3 times, but that's like best case scenario, right? Next, we are playing Evenly Matched. Again, we're not super reliant on OTK, so we don't really need our battle phase per se, but you definitely, the way Madolche's is played is, you know, it keeps recurring resources back for you, and it has powerful engine cards in archetype, which, as you guys know, if you guys have been here for any length of time, is my favorite type of deck, right? So I think Evening Match is a really good pickup. Another really good one is Anti-Spell Fragrance. There are a lot of times where, even if you have Promenade set and Anti-Spell Fragrance and you negate the first card with Anti-Spell Fragrance up on the field, chances are if they don't have Twin Twister or Cosmic Cyclone, they're definitely not playing this game. And all you need in Madolche's is a turn. That's literally all you need. One turn and you're good to go. All right, next we're playing Dark Ruler No More. And kind of, we play Anti-Spell so we don't get Dark Rulered, because a lot of people don't know what the deck does, so they always Dark Ruler and basically turn our vanillas into vanillas, okay? But Dark Ruler is really good in this deck simply because Tiramisu Shuffle Back 2, they don't get to play because all their pieces are now in the graveyard, and all the pieces that they needed in hand or on field are now back in deck. And the pieces in the graveyard got those cards out of the deck, and now that they don't have that, you know, unless they like top deck insane, they don't really get to play, right? And Queen Tiramisu, that shuffle back is so powerful. If you've never played this deck, I urge you to try this deck, okay? Next we're playing triple Droll and Lockbird. Jen stole my last Drolls, that's why I only have 2. But I'm sorry about that, okay? Droll and Lockbird is really good because Drytrons is still a deck in the meta. And there are a lot of decks that it unironically stops, like Pendulums and other not so great decks. But you get what I'm saying. So, but again, the side deck is very malleable in the sense that, like, depending on your local scene, you know, your side deck will look different. But if you are playing at the regional, YCS, or national / world level, the side deck will also change depending on the exact format. This is definitely more of a catch-all side deck, so keep that in mind when you are building this deck. All right, and I know what you guys are saying, Susu, you never show us the combos. Show me the G-damn combo or I'm not subscribing. By the way, subscribe, like, and comment, hit that notification bell to join the squad, and god damn it, I will show you a combo and how powerful this deck is when you do go full combo with just one single card. So let's get right into it. All right, so let's say your opponent hand ripped you for 5, put up no negates, and he's prone to OTK, all right? You top deck Petting Sesor, okay? This is how we play. So we're gonna special the Petting from the hand, which will activate, allowing us to summon Pudding Cess from our main deck, or hand if we draw it, but you know, we're under the assumption that we only drew 1 card. Okay, we're gonna overlay these for Glass Souffle, okay? We're gonna detach from Glass Souffle, sending this to the graveyard, targeting itself. And then we are going to make Chocolate a la Mode. On summon, what a la Mode does, it'll target a card in your graveyard, a Madolche card, and shuffle it back into deck. And when you do, you can detach a material and special summon a card. So we're gonna shuffle back the Petting Size back to that. We'll put it up here. We'll detach the Glass Souffle, and that will allow us to summon Madolche Angeli. Now, when Madolche Angeli summons, it's not an on-summon effect, so it's prone to Veiler or Imperm. But let's say they have nothing. Again, they literally have nothing. We're gonna use Angeli effect, Tributor for cost, summoning us Madolche Hootcake. Now, when Hootcake summons, its effect will allow us to target Glass Souffle, banish it to summon Messengelato. When Messengelato gets summoned, it's gonna allow us to add Chateau to the hand, okay? We're gonna activate Chateau, which is our field spell, shuffling back our Angeli, proccing a la Mode 1 more time, which will allow us to summon another Messengelato. Now, when Gelato gets summoned, again, not once per turn, we are going to add Promenade to the hand, okay? And then from here, we're just gonna go over, make another Glass Souffle for next turn, and what you can do is you can leave these cards on the field because Hootcake was summoned off of Angeli, so it can't be destroyed by battle, which comes up a lot more than you think, as well as its follow-up for next turn, because Glass Souffle, you can make this unaffected by monster effects and not be destroyed by battle, okay? But let's say you open Salon and Petting, right? So we're gonna activate the Salon, we're going to set the Petting, and here is where things get interesting, okay? Next turn, you have a Promenade, which is a negate, which allows you to add the Pudding Size back to hand, triggering Salon, grabbing you Ticket, as well as you have a shuffle back too with Glass Souffle. Now this is really important because let's say you're playing against Tri-Brigades and they go normal kit, link it off for Almirage, and then they go kit effect, Nerval, and then Nerval will add them Fractal, they'll normal the Fractal, make Frigid, and then Frigid will summon a card from their hand, but then, you know, you've already Glass Souffled, and now they have nothing to banish in the graveyard to make their Bear Brum or anything else for that matter, right? And even against Drytrons, you can shuffle back their names. Against Virtual Worlds, you can shuffle back their King Longs and their targets for Lao Lao. And this is really, really important because you need to know the meta. And that was a very simple 1-card combo if we only opened 2 cards. Obviously, there are much more like in-depth, more plays, especially if you open Ticket, because that allows you to extend even further. But generally speaking, this is a deck where you want to play safe because your deck is just good at putting monsters on the board, and they have effects that just are so good in any format and in any meta. All right, guys. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the deck profile and the combo. I know it's very new. All right. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Hit that notification bell to join the squad. And don't forget about our sponsor today, Gen. All right. So if you guys didn't see the sponsorship, go in the beginning of the video and you'll catch that really dope commercial. All right, guys. Also, I want to thank you guys for getting us here. We're almost to 20,000 subscribers. That's a goal that Gen and I, never thought we'd get to. And it's crazy because you guys show us so much support over on Patreon, over in Discord, on Twitch. And no matter what we do, you guys are always freaking there. And I love bringing you guys deck profiles of decks that I love playing. And I really hope you guys can feel the passion when I'm doing these deck profiles, because I generally do it in one take. So if I'm doing a deck profile, I better freaking really know how to play that deck. And hopefully I've shown that I do and that you can as well, all right? So if you guys like content like this, like I said, let me know in the comment section down below, and by subscribing and liking this video. Oh, also share the video. That does a lot for us, right? So this is Souffle from HeadtoHead Battles. I'm gonna go have some donuts because I have to. I freaking love you guys. This is Souffle from HeadtoHead Battles. Again, I guess, signing out. What's up, guys?
If you haven't subscribed, make sure to click that button right there in the middle.
Also, if you haven't watched that video that YouTube is recommending you, it's probably crazy, all right? Go watch it. This is Souffle from HeadtoHead Battles.
HeadtoHead Battles.
Signing out.